Welcome, guys, to another episode of Nerds for Life SuperCoach. I'm your host, Peter, and round one is done, and I've won 5 out of my 5 early matchups. It was a decent start to the year. I'm just going to minimize that screen because that is way too big. I am not that old yet, and I don't need it to be zoomed in that much. Massive round. Honestly, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm likely not doing any trades this week, okay? I've avoided the Errol Gulden injury by picking Sam Walsh. I know that does sound strange, but I managed to avoid that. We've got a big episode coming up. We've got injury news. We've got, oh my God, we've got a lot of things on. We've got players that have popped up out of nowhere, role changes to kick off the season. There's been a lot of questions as well. Well, a few questions. I'm over-exaggerating just a little bit. And I will answer those, or at least to the best of my ability. But it was a decent week for me personally. And before I get into it, actually, I should get into the formalities. Please make sure to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, Spotify. Give us a like on Facebook as well, or whatever you're watching this on. Just do that thing. Just like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think as well if you disagree with something that I've said. Another thing, our major sponsor this year, which is Game Day Squad. You could support the page by joining me and playing with Game Day Squad. This is them here. So it's just gamedaysquad.com.au. There's a lot of different sports. You know, you've got football, rugby, Aussie rules, women's Aussie rules. I don't know why. Why is it Aussie rules? It should just be footy. Basketball, cricket, in a couple of different leagues as well. There's global, there's Ind and Australian cricket. Interesting. All you have to do is join using the league code AR004YF. 41YF. That'll get you in. So it's A0041YF. That'll get you in to our private league. And if you use the code NERDS the promo code when you sign up, you get 3 9-card AFL common bonus packs as well. So all these bonus players as well. Okay, so you get a little bit of a leg up from everyone else when you do use that promo code NERDS, NERDS, and then you can go up head to head with me, AR004Y1YF. I don't know why I can't say that. And that's that. The formalities are done, and we will go into SuperCoach. Okay, so I'm actually pretty happy with the way my team started. The only flaw I really had was that I picked Butters as 94. Everything else kind of worked out well. I did have Jaeger Smith on the bench, which didn't work out great. So I left a little bit of more score on the bench, and then obviously going Butters as my captain did burn me just that little bit. It made sense. The matchup made sense, so I gave it a crack. North Melbourne played really well. He got tagged out, and look, a 94 actually is pretty good. That could be the lowest score that he scores all year. So it is what it is. It's done. I scored 2,330 on the dot, which I actually think is a very good start considering my captain potatoed it up, and I also had Jaeger Smith's 113 on the bench. Jack Sinclair, amazing. Rosie looked like he was going to go really big and then just kind of tape it off at the end. Blackiston is a concern that I have, but I'm not making a change right now. I don't really have a rookie to go down to, as I feel like I've picked the best rookies in defense already, and I don't really want to go sideways to another mid-pricer that's about to have a bye, which we will get into in a minute. I do understand that some people are making that play. I personally have another strategy with Blackiston myself. Grilljaws, I don't know how to pronounce his name, was fantastic. I actually think that score was low considering how well he played. Lindsay started really poor, spent the first 15 minutes on the bench, didn't have a lot of time on ground, but man, when he got on the field, he scored well. Hopefully he gets a little bit more time on ground. He's had kick-outs, was playing across half-back. I could see him scoring very well. And then Lockie Jacks, fantastic, another 80, another really good score from him. They are absolute must-haves, all of them. Gipkus actually scored well enough, and Sarong did really well too. Butters obviously was poor. Anderson, fantastic. Caleb Sarong, my point of difference, with 10% ownership, 150, incredible. Walsh is a little bit underwhelming. Petrarca has 6 Brownlow votes from 2 games, 100%. And if he doesn't, the umpires should honestly be fired because his last 2 games have been ridiculous. Hayden Young looked like he was going to go 140 plus, and then he just decided to have no disposals in the fourth quarter and apparently had a little bit of a hamstring awareness, which was just reported today. So keep an eye out on team sheets for him. I'm concerned, genuinely concerned. If he has hamstring awareness after spending so much time out of the squad last year with injury problems, I am not opposed to jumping off if he's not playing this week. I'm not opposed to jumping off, and I've clearly missed one rookie, which I'll go into. I'm not opposed to jumping off, banking some cash, and then maybe upgrading Blackiston next week to an actual primo, okay? Not opposed to it because Tanner Bruin could go into my midfield. Darcy Parish, really low time on ground, a 93 from 69% of game time. I'm not complaining. Hopefully he pushes up to 70, 75% soon, and that would be a 100 plus score. Sharp, really low time on ground, looked fantastic when he was playing. He is probably the only rookie that I'm a bit concerned of. He's definitely on the outer. If his time on ground doesn't improve, that 57 might actually be his best score. So I'm a little concerned there. Nick Dacos and Jaeger Smith on the bench this week, but obviously both will be on my field next week as they've got the bye. Blameries looks good at a halfback role at a 99k rookie. English, I think, is going to be the number 1 ruckman this season. I was tossing up between him or Luke Jackson. Luke Jackson fired really well. I think that he's going to be... Those two are going to be the top 2. And McAndrew was great with it, 88. If you don't have McAndrew in, get him in at all costs. And then ZZ, I mean, he's on a bye this week, but actually looked really good in his second game. And that's the thing. Draper came back, Darcy Fort stayed in the team, and ZZ got to play still. Harris Andrews still suspended for a couple of weeks. I can't see this guy coming out of the side. We might have picked the best R3. Honestly, we may have done it. Harry Sheasel, if you don't have him, get him. Sam Flanders, if you don't have him, get him. Lawler looked good at times. The 75's fine. Butterick was horrible early. Got there in the end. Marshall, fantastic considering he got injured, but he's been all cleared to play this week. And Dev Rob, just get him in. Has the role, 105. Mateus Philippou is a bit of a concern as well for me, but he's on my bench right now. Leo Lombard is another one that I just think he's just gonna score well enough. He's got an easy enough draw. He's looking good. He's got his Rising Star nomination. He's gonna play a bit more of a slow burn, but just honestly, I actually think that he's probably the best F8 right now going around. And Tanner Bruin, another 110. He's averaging 100.5. Just get him in if you don't have him. But next week, I wouldn't be doing it this week. He's on a bye. Honestly, I just want to point out 1,998 coaches have traded out Nick Dacos. I get it. He's not playing this week. But then you're just going to be trading him back in the following week, okay? That's nuts. That's a waste of 2 trades. Don't do that. Same with Sam Walsh. Don't do that. He didn't play bad. Neither of these guys played bad. Okay? Just leave them in your team. Mateus Philippou, I understand why a lot of people are jumping off him, but I feel like the person they're jumping off on is not really essential. Like Milan Murdoch, he's only played 1 game. It was a really good game. He was West Coast top scorer, but he only played 1 game. And I've been burnt this way before. And the same goes for Braden Cook. I think both are really good trade-ins, potentially. Milan Murdoch probably a better one than Cook because Rankin comes back this week. What does Cook's role look like with Rankin back? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But both those guys could potentially get injured this week after you trade them in. I hope not. Fingers crossed they don't. That's a horrible thing to happen. But it's happened to me before where I think it was 2024, I think I started both Gibgus and Zach Reed on my bench in defense. They were my 2 rookie defenders. Gibgus Round 1, knee injury, out for the season. Great. Fantastic stuff. I decided to go a week early on a player that had played well enough in round 1, and then just do that sideways trade, right? Just to a player that did well enough in round 1. Gibcus out for the season, so I brought in Nick Caulfield, and Nick Caulfield hurt his shoulder and was out for the next 12 weeks. Didn't get a price rise because he did it on his second game, and it took 12 weeks before I saw him again. Honestly, I'm not a fan of bringing in someone early. I know that it means that you can do other things next week. Who cares? It's a 99k rookie, okay? You don't need to bring him in this week. You should have ample cover this week to have a full team on your field. In saying that, if Hayden Young doesn't play, I might do it. I might do it, okay? If Hayden Young doesn't play, I may go down the Milan route. I probably not. Actually, I probably won't. I probably just hold it out. I think I've got enough cover to have a full team on my field anyway, so I think I'll just tough it out. But I'm not a fan of going early, especially Braden Cook. I'm not sure what his job security is going to be like, and he's a little bit of an elevated priced rookie too. You do bank 10k-ish from Philippou if you did that swap, but I'm just not a fan. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Marcus Bontempelli, you're paying $706,000 a week before his bye. He's not playing next week. I don't love that either. Joe Fonte, I get. A lot of people are doing the Blackiston to Fonte, make some quick cash. He's looked really good, in all fairness. He has looked really good, and he should score well enough, but it's not my move, but I do understand the move. I think Lockie Blackiston against Dante Vicentini this week should score well enough. I think he can score a mid-85, which is probably what Fonte's going to score anyway. So I don't think it's essential. I'm going to hold it out, see what he does. If I get it wrong, I can actually jump to Windsor if Windsor does really well this week. So there's options there. If you miss out on Fonte, I don't think he's going to be that big of a moneymaker anyway. I could see him making anywhere between 50 to 100k maximum. So do you really want to burn a trade this early out for that 100k? I'm just not loving it. Luke Jackson, I can see why coaches are bringing him in. Fantastic stuff. If I had someone like a Brodie Grundy who has underperformed, I'd be swinging to Luke Jackson without a bye, who has really, really started the season off quite well, and banked the cash in between. They're just the most traded in and out players, and I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that. Like I said, I'm not doing much this week. I'm most likely making no trades unless there's a massive team changes. Like if Blameris isn't playing, if Philippou doesn't play, if Young doesn't play, maybe I might be, if Sharp gets dropped, maybe I might be forced to do something to field a side. But however, if everyone that I think will play plays, I'm probably not doing anything. At this stage, I'm doing nothing. Okay? I like holding my trades. I don't like trading away primos. I actually think that I've got a relatively good side. I've got most of the players I want. The only ones that I'm a little bit umming and ahhing are Blackiston, Sharp, and Philippou. And honestly, they're not necessarily trade outs. Marshall isn't even on the injury list. He's not even listed as a test. Guy's available. It's a sprained ankle. That was it. The Warriors over. He's most likely playing this week and looked really good. Philippou as well. Cork. He's listed as a test. Could play this week. People that are jumping off Philippou for Milan, just remember that Milan's not changing in price this week. Philippou is. His break-even's, I think, 2. Yeah, it's 2. If he scores a 36, which he should definitely do, he's going to make 15k. He can go up 20-25k this week. And then you trade him out for Milan. You bank 100k instead of 70k. It's better to wait. And who knows? Maybe if Philippou pops off, maybe he has a really good game. We don't know. So for me, I'm holding if he's playing. I'm holding regardless, most likely, to be honest. Just because I don't want to go early on anyone that could potentially get injured. Same with Sharp. I want to see one more week from him. I'm going to go to the questions. All right? I'm going to go to the questions, and then we'll continue with a few players to target. Did we get any questions this week? Yes, we got a couple on X. Let's go. We got Sam G. I have not read any of these, by the way. I'm not prepared. I'm going to take a little bit of a sip of my coffee because I am about to choke. Is Cook an ideal replacement for Pooh? Given that he's my only forced trade and other break-evens are okay, am I right to be holding the other trades for next week to upgrade a mid-pricer still misfiring? Personally, look, I've already just said that I don't like going early, and I also don't like the Cook job security. I'd love to see how he plays with Rankin back, who's 100% playing this week. Also, Phillipou could go up in price, which means you could actually do that trade next week and bank more cash. Not a fan. I'm not a fan, especially if you're fielding a full team. If your forward line's all playing, even if Pooh misses this week, okay, and your forward line's all playing, I'd rather do it for someone on the bubble and you guarantee yourself a price rise, personally. I also am not a massive fan of Cook's job security, so I wouldn't be doing it for Cook. I'd be more inclined to do it for a Milan because West Coast is a basket case and I could see Milan staying in that team. Mary Fowler, not for the show, but keen on your opinion on my draft situation. Okay. Currently have Hopper on my bench. Gross. He looked terrible last week. Thoughts on offloading him to either Murdoch or Stevens or Bice, who are all free agents currently. Considering all three of those guys are probably taken by the time I have recorded. Sorry. That is tough. I'd probably go Murdoch. I'm probably going to go with Murdoch on this. Okay? I think Bice will have a weird fluctuation. I think Murdoch should actually be a decent scorer overall. Man, it's tough. It's very tough. Very tough. Also, Murdoch plays in the same position as Hopper. So, yeah. See if you can trade Hopper. Put him in the I put him up for trade. But yeah, he looked really bad. Let's go to Facebook. I haven't actually looked at the trades. Don't even think I'm logged on Facebook. So we're going to do this from my phone. So I'm going to read out. I know that we got a few questions from my phone. So I'm just going to bring that up. Where are my question posts? Here we go. We got 6 questions. It's not bad. All right. The first one is Dave Batley. Is it too early to dump Butters or wait till buys are over in a few weeks? Don't dump Butters, man. Just don't do it. George, I'm so sorry, man. I'm Panutstopoulos. Do we keep Blackerson or downgrade to McAndrews Adelaide flex position? Then can we move Clark to Ash? But I know I need to go crazy after round 1. I'm going to be honest. I don't love trading primos. Clark had a bad day, but I still think Clark's a top 6 to 8 defender at the worst. I wouldn't be trading to Clark. I also think both the Lockies are going to be fluctuating this year. With Fonte coming through and looking pretty good, I could see all 3 of them sharing points, and they've got a bye coming up in 2 weeks. Don't get rid of Clark. I wouldn't be getting rid of Clark, especially after one bad game. Okay, he could pop off 120 this week easily. So I wouldn't be getting rid of Clark, and he's got a favourable draw coming up too for halfbacks. I do agree that McAndrews is a very important player to bring into your team. I don't know how you're getting McAndrews in for Blackiston. That is there's some DPP action going on there. It's tough. I'd wait the week to make sure McAndrew actually plays the following week. You're going to hate to have a dead ruck as your flex, okay? You're going to hate to have a dead ruck as your flex because I'm assuming someone else is your R3, all right? Which means that person's job security is probably low. It's probably like an Edwards or a ZZ, and both their job securities are a bit meh. So I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be waiting next week, okay? But that means you don't have Cook, and it probably means you don't have Murdoch. So if you have if you've missed all 3 of those guys, I wouldn't be using a boost next week. I'd be going early on at least one of them, but I wouldn't be doing it with McAndrew. I would be doing it. Oh God, that's hard actually. I'd be. If you're missing all 3 of those, that's a problem. You might just have to miss out on one. There's going to be other rookies this year. Don't worry. There's going to be other rookies. If you miss out on one of those 3, I think it's a big deal. I think McAndrew and Murdoch are the top 2, and you just pick them next week. Make sure they're actually playing and uninjured, and then who knows? You're going to have other problems next week. Trust me. At the end of this round, you might be keeping Blackiston because someone else gets injured. So, don't waste trades. Just don't waste trades this early. Mitchell Finch, Murdoch and Cook both must-haves. Trying to work out if I need to go a week early to set up properly or get Houston next week. Also, what does Blackiston need to score to stay in the side? Blackiston needs to score at least 85, I reckon, to stay in the side. But here's the thing. I love the idea of bringing in Dan Houston next week. So if you could turn Blackiston into Houston next week, I would 100% do it. So personally, I think that Murdoch is the only must-have of the 2 between Cook and Murdoch. If you can go down to Murdoch and up Blackiston to Houston, that is tantalizing. Gonna be honest, I know that I said Caleb Wins is tempting me, so Blackiston to Windsor. But if there was any way that I could go Blackiston to Houston next week, I probably will. I just don't know how. Honestly, I hate to say it feels gross as a Richmond fan, but if Lawler doesn't pop off, I'm most likely going to be dropping Lawler and Blackiston doesn't pop off. I'm most likely dropping the both of them to get to Houston. Okay? So, and Murdoch. So, a lot of DPP movements. So, it's track forward from the midfield. Murdoch in, out Lawler, out Blackiston, Houston in. That's actually really good. It's likely what I'm doing next week. Okay? Hopefully not. Hopefully Lawler tons up and I don't have to do anything. Now, this one's long, so I'm going to read it out. A lot of options. I'm going to try my best. Michael Narum. What do we do with Gulden? I'm thinking about these options. Gulden's out for 4 months. Did forget to mention that at the start of the show. Guys, he has to go. I'm sorry. He just does. For those that picked him up in draft, and he was probably your, I would say, top 3 pick. Definitely your first, possibly your first, second or third pick. I couldn't see him being any lower than that. That just sucks. Unlucky. I would hold him, honestly, because if you make finals, he could be a sneaky end of season hot streak when he comes back, and that could really help you out. But for classic, oh my God, there's 7 points. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to read these out really slowly because this is going to be a hard one. Okay. Murdoch. So number 1, Murdoch have 577k sit on the bank ready to underperforming a rookie at the end of next round. Okay. I don't hate that. Go to Anderson. 90k in the bank at the moment. All right. So you could go to Anderson. Wait a week. Trade Sharp to Murdoch. Then can get Gulden to Bont. Well, you can't do number 3 because Bont has a bye next week. So I wouldn't be doing that. Gulden to Holmes after his bye. Nah, don't like that at all. Sarong, although had an 80-point last quarter and won't happen each week. True. That is true, but Sarong does have 150s historically in his system. Hayden Young, who I passed on, who looked managed but awesome in the first quarter. Looked incredible for the first half, but yeah, managed because of a hamstring awareness, so I wouldn't be touching him at all. Luke Jackson in flex with a swing to Jaeger into the mids. Ooh. I'm going to be honest. 7. I really like 7. I don't know who your ruck line is right now, but I actually like 7. Yeah. Yeah, 7's the one for me. That's what I would be doing this week. If I was in your position, I like that. I actually do like that. Yeah, I do that. I do like that. Yeah. Yeah. No, 7 it is. There we go. Done. Questions are over. Now, who was the weekly winner? I forgot to mention that. It's been a while since we've done this. Okay, so I've come 249th this week in my own league, which is great. The round 1 winner is Warith's Legends by Matt, who scored 2,483 and it has the overall ranking of 60th. Absolutely fantastic score. Let's take a quick look and see, who did he have? He went with Kalani White as his captain. Obviously, he looped Bontempelli's score. Personally, I absolutely hate starting loops when you can have a green tick. I just don't love it. I just absolutely hate it. No offense. Look, you've beaten me round 1, so you beat me by 153 points, okay, this week. I get it. You know, great team. You've done well, but I just think it's gross. I just think it's a wasted spot, especially when we have all these buys. The next 3 weeks we have a plethora of these loops. So I just don't love it. I really don't. But he went with English and Jackson as his 2 rucks, and I had that all the way up until last week. Now, McAndrew was fantastic. I'm assuming McAndrew's his flex. It is his flex. That was the ruck line I wanted, and then I chickened out right at the end after Luke Jackson looked shit all preseason. He didn't look good. He just didn't look good in the Origin game. He played full forward the whole game, and then he not the Origin game. State of Origin, and then he didn't really do much in the practice games. And then he comes out and he scores a 142 in round 1. Honestly, why? Fuck. I really wish I put him in my team. I really do. Anyway, it is what it is. Great work, mate. Sinclair, Rosie, Blackiston, Windsor as well. Interesting. Grilge, Sarong, Lindsay, Jacks. Yeah, fantastic backline. I would be making no changes to that. Even with Blackiston, I'd probably just leave that, honestly. Bontempelli, Butters, Anderson, Gulden. Obviously, Gulden is your major concern. Young is a little bit of a concern too. Parrish, Bruin, Smith, Sharp, Carroll, Blameries. I don't mind it. Gulden and Murdoch is probably the move you're making this week, is what I'm assuming is your trade this week. Because you don't really have any other issues. Or maybe, you're probably doing Gulden to someone, who knows. Sheasel, Petrarca, Flanders, Philippou, Marshall, Robertson, Doveston, Lombard, McAndrew. It's actually a pretty good team. Honestly, the more I look at it, the more I like it. It is so disgustingly close to my team. Right, this is it. Just so you know, it is that close to. It is that close. I think Al Payton posted something today that between the rank of 10,000th and number 1, there's only an 80-point difference. So 80 points more between the rank of 10,000th, right, and number 1 right now. So it's early days. You could really go up and down quite rapidly in rank. I wouldn't be concerned. I actually started in the top 13k, so I'm kind of happy with that. That's a decent start for me, honestly. I'm happy with it. It's a decent start. I'm really happy with my team. Okay, obviously I would love Murdoch in the team. It's probably the only one that I missed. Honestly, it's the only one that I have genuinely want. There's no one else at the moment. If Hayden Young doesn't play this week, I'm probably just going Murdoch early. Just putting it out there. I'm probably bailing, probably jumping off, probably just going Murdoch early. Oh, maybe not. Nah. What if Murdoch gets injured? I'll just cry. That's what I'll do. That's my plan. I'll just cry and just suck up the 0 on field because I've got too many midfielders on a bye. There will be a captain's video. I will post that. It will be a short. It'll be up later this week. As I said before, make sure to subscribe, like the page on all the socials. Nerds for Life SC or Nerds for Life SuperCoach. I'll be back same time, same place next week. Thanks for watching, guys.